6:30. It is January 10th. Hope everyone's feeling well. It's Wednesday. I'll tell you, this week was a lot more fun than last week. Jeez, we just, I guess they had to shake up a little sentiment last week in order to get a little bit of better action. My name is Scott Redler. I am your Chief Strategic Officer. No, I'm kidding. That's what I say to Redler All Access as well as the Alpha team. But I am here to give you guys some clues to what's happening for the day. This is the 6:30 Club. We go over 20 minutes of where we're focusing, where some plays could be to make you cash flow if you trade for a living, as well as the right mindset for the long term. Kind of sacrifice today for the fruits of tomorrow. Yes, I know it's difficult, but that's how you do it, and the market can help you do that. In order to do it all, you got to have a routine and a process, which is what's keeping me sane, even though people think I'm a little insane. Anyway, so let's get to it. So Alexa, lower. I like Alexa. It's me and Alexa in the morning. What up, Alexa? How you doing? Anyway, look at the S&P cash. First of all, what I do when I wake up in the morning is I look around what's happening around the world. Still seems like Europe is lethargic. Japan, the Nikkei is at 33-year highs. Wow. And Asia and China still can't find the bid. Some people are like, hey, Red Dog, why is Japan at a 33-year high? What are they doing? I'm like, well, first of all, they also have debt out their eyeballs, but they do have a free enterprise economy, right? They also don't meddle in everyone's business. They're not in all the wars. They're not making the news. They're just doing their own thing, and they're the old school samurais, right? They're the old school discipline, the old school, mental toughness. Anyway, I got to go to Japan. I've never been to Japan. Either way, so futures were just up about 6-7 handles. Now they're flat. Some people are like, hey, Red Dog, does this head and shoulders pattern, look like a head and shoulders pattern? I'm like, well, I started talking about it when we came in here, when we broke the ascending channel and we had our corrective phase into some support. And I'm like, maybe we could bounce up to 47.30 or maybe 47.60. But in order for this to build, it has to get rejected here. It has to go sideways and come lower, and then maybe you have a pattern to then, trigger down to 4,600. So I just tried to situate where we can go from, and see how it plays out. So we did bounce. Now the question is, do we hold 47.30, which we did yesterday? That's your point of reference. And, does 47.64 reject price, and then do we roll down? It's hard to tell. If we wind up, busting through 47.64, then all of a sudden this right shoulder gets blown out and that pattern's not there. Certain patterns build. Sometimes you're fighting amongst patterns. But it's good to see where things are. Tom Lee, who's very good, who's historically very, very bullish. I get it. I'd rather have somebody out there very historically bullish because over time the bull market does win versus those who think the world's going to end, because you can't prepare for the world to end or you won't be here, But if it doesn't end, you don't have a plan, you're going to want it to end, and we don't want that. Anyway, so here's the SPYs. Oh, this is a good song. You know the song? Alexa, louder. Anyway, so here are the SPYs. SPYs were just up 50 cents-ish, and now they're flat. So you have yesterday's low. Remember yesterday, I'm like, we have to hold half of this candle. This is the candle that pushed the bears back, a nice potent bullish candle where some leaders started to lead again, like in Nvidia, a few other the mega cap tech names. But anyway, maybe we have an inside day today. Alexa off. I might get in trouble because it's a song that YouTube might not want to play. I'm just learning YouTube. Alexa off. She's being a bad girl. Anyway, so we'll see if we go sideways here. Same thing with the S&P futures. The SPYs correlate. So if we were to blow out this right candle, then that whole argument goes. But if we go here and roll down, if we don't have enough more leaders join what's been going on here, then all of a sudden maybe that is a head and shoulders top pattern with, this being big support and this being bigger support. Again, Tom Lee said we're not going to 4,600. We're going straight back to the highs of December and then maybe even the all-time highs. I don't know. I'm starting to see a little signals, little bit. What am I seeing? Well, you know what? They let Nvidia go. Nvidia was probably my best trade in a while. I've been focusing on it. I've been talking about it. People like Red Dog, why are you talking so much about Nvidia? You sound like Kramer. I'm like, that's probably a good call Kramer had. Kramer named his dog Nvidia a long time ago. So as much crap as everyone gives Kramer, which I get it, guy's got to talk all day long about stocks, and sometimes he just pulls it out of his culo, you know what I'm saying? But anyway, this if you bought Nvidia every time, he mentioned it, you probably have a lot of money. For me, I've been mentioning it in here because it was above the 821 day, and it looked like it was ready to take out 499, 504, 505. Then you had 522. That was your first move. Then it gave you a way to buy the dip, get through 522. To get to 540, what do you have to do? It's very, very sophisticated. You got to go to your algo think tank. Oh, you got to get above 522 to get to 543. So I got above there and opened the door. And now we'll see what happens today. I didn't put this level in yesterday. This is 516.90, 516.90. So we were buying the dip yesterday. That was fun. Traded around. Did another good day there. I did get out actually at 542. I did. And I created a call spread, which I told you guys. I was on the 520s. And right when we were at 533, I sold the 540s to create a spread, to take in premium, to pay me to hold it. I financed it through the action. That doesn't always happen that way. And now we'll see how it goes. I did buy the dip yesterday, into the close, into the VWAP. It's very important to know what the VWAP is midday. Sometimes stocks get ahead of the VWAP, because there are extra flows and shorts get squeezed. So when it gets quiet, sometimes they float back to the VWAP because that's where the computers have their orders. So you just need to know that. Just something that has been very important for traders in the last year or so. Anyway, or more. So I did already trim some. I bought some into the close, took it overnight, trimmed some, and I'm going to hold some, continue to manage it. For those that do watch me on the Alpha Team, let me show you what it looks like. Some people are like, hey, Red Dog, how do I join your Alpha Team? I'm like, well, let me show you. Well, first of all, you get to see the positions, and they don't all work. Look, it's flashing red because I just sold some Nvidia because I took a little bit too much into the close. This is everyone starting to talk. Remember that last night? What the hell was it? I lost money. It looked like Bitcoin was going. It looked like they got approval. I went after Mara, and then all of a sudden, we were hacked. Back in the day, you used to get some kind of money back for stuff like that. Now it's like you have to be that careful. But anyway, these are my positions. These are some of my options. Granted, not everything works. Neo didn't work, and Blink didn't work. MSOS is a pain in the butt, but you know what? Google looks like it's ready to make new move highs. Microsoft, as hard as it was yesterday, which is right here, looks like it's ready to go. Also, I'm still in. You can see Nvidia there. This is the call spread we were talking about, 520 by 540. So they get to see when I have it on. Microsoft, I have 375s, 377.50s. And then I sold 380s just to make a call spread besides being in the stock. So, it helps just breed confidence. Not saying I'm always right, but I'm pretty damn consistent. And when I'm wrong, I don't get louder. And a lot of people on here, they might even be smarter than me, and they trade more because they're not going to Fox Business. They're not going to the city. They don't have all the things going on that I have to juggle. But anyway, and how do I do all that? By going in the ice barrel in the morning. You guys see me on the ice barrel last night. Chase was taping me. He's like, you're freaking nuts, Dad. It's like thundering outside. There's lightning bolts. Trees are falling. And I'm like, ah. Anyway, better than taking sleeping pills. I got a lot of tension. I had a good night's sleep last night, actually. Anyway, so with that said, you had Nvidia go. So the question is, when Nvidia goes, what looks similar? What else can go? So yesterday, a lot of guys made really good money in SMCI. Okay, I posted this in Redler All Access, which is my private Twitter, which is right here. Okay, that's the private Twitter. Okay, where I post all these charts, all day long. I do post them in public, but that was there. Anyway, let's go back to the TrendSpider. So anyway, so SMCI was something that, again, you could have bought it through 321 and 327, gave you a nice move, and I think this morning it's up a bit with Nvidia probably. It's up $2. This probably could take out 357 at some point. Another name that kind of moves with it, because groups usually move together, was Avago. Very tricky. I did buy Avago yesterday, and I'm still long Avago. I guess some people thought maybe it was in a little bit of the arena of microchip and some of those that have been pre-announcing. Anyway, so remember this move when it took out 925 and then 999. That was pretty crazy to 1149, and then you had this upper flag that broke to the downside. So anyway, got above 1055 and then took out 1070 to 1088. I do think it could fill this gap at least. So, but again, this is a tricky stock. It doesn't really, it's not thick. It trades by appointment. Feels sometimes like you're going to get trapped, so you got to be careful with the Vigo. But I'm still there. Gets above here. Maybe there's one more move. So that's good. My biggest position right now is Microsoft. I have two sets of options. I have stock. To me, it feels like it's kind of ready to take out this area. Listen, yesterday was tough. Yesterday came in along a lot of Microsoft. Futures were down. And all of a sudden, I was like, damn it. There was some news that the EU was looking into maybe their AI relationship. Meanwhile, they're just trying to get paid. These friggin' agencies, all they want to do is they're like the mafia. They want to slap a fine on you, get paid so they can pay all those people. Anyway, they've been talking about monopoly for Microsoft back when they said Microsoft was where money goes to die. If you remember the decade of pain in the 2000s, which all it did is really consolidate the 80s and the 90s. But anyway, this looks pretty damn set up. So hopefully it happens. Don't have too much. It definitely is tricky at times. That looks like the one ready to go. Google looks pretty good too. 2 big days though. It might need a little bit of a rest. Just ahead of this 141.49. But it does seem, if you go back to the weekly chart, I talked about this a few weeks ago, that it's ready to, make a move towards this 150, 151. It's still moving well. Got caught a little bit in there, but that's because I'm short term and I wasn't, I had too much, I guess. Meta still looks good. Meta hanging in here. I'd love to see Meta, hold above the 8-day for a little bit. I'm happy it wasn't ready to take this out, let it go sideways, let it build a better spot, and then take it out. So this is just what looks actively bullish to me. Then Apple, as long as Apple's not a headwind, tech could go, as long as it's not making lower lows, right? And PS, a little bit more inside action here, and perhaps it could start acting better. There were some upgrades on it yesterday about finally somebody said something positive about Apple. No one said anything positive about Apple in the last few weeks, talking about slowing iPhones and China agencies, whatever it is. Seems like obviously this gap controlled it to the downside. So now we'll see if it builds in here to continue. Overall, do I think this double top is going to be the double top forever in Apple? No freaking chance. I'll wear this jacket again. I wear my Cupertino jacket when this gets above 200 at some point. I just don't know when it's going to be. Thank you, Joey B, for getting my word yesterday because, we were talking about I was being actively bullish on Nvidia, and he's like, you sound like friggin' Dan Ives, you're so actively bullish. But I'm like, so he got me the jacket as a joke, and I said I'd wear it when we get above 505 and hit 540. Well, that's that. You know what? I'll put it on also. How about this? When Microsoft clears 384.22 at some point, I'm not saying it's going to, I'll put that jacket back on. Anyway, but for now, I'm in Red Dog t-shirt mode. What else? So some people saying, hey, when is the IWM going to go again? The CPI is something that usually is a good catalyst for the IWM if it shows that inflation's coming down. At this point, you have 205 was the high. We came in, I guess, I could put this down here now. This is your active low. Then it made a little bit of a higher low. It's a little bit out of play because look at the size of the move that it had. So I get it. Thursday's the CPI. Listen, I just drove here this morning and I saw gas at $2.99. That means gas is going down, oil is going down. I do think housing has come in a little bit, rents come in a little bit, food price is still pretty high, but I think it's on its way. Just to know what's priced in, what's really not. So if I were to say, what strike should you do an option play on, because we've done so well with those. First option play I had was down here, but that was a surprise. Now everyone's anticipating it, so it might not be as good. I guess if you go like 196 calls, where's the IWM right now? Let's see. IWM is down 20 cents. So if you went with, if you did a call spread to make it a little, you did like just say the 196, and this gap gets filled at 198.5. Maybe do one. It depends. Like maybe 196 by 200. That doesn't help finance it. If it's really blockbuster, you'll be, maybe do 198 by 200. It probably cost you like 50 cents to make $1.50, something like that. But then at least your risk is defined. Maybe that'll help. But anyway, we'll see. JP Morgan comes out with earnings on Friday. People are starting to think, maybe it's a little ahead of itself ahead of Friday, so that's why it's not running anymore, which is better. The weekly chart is pretty insane, right back to the all-time high. So we'll see how what happens here with J.P. Morgan. Does it turn into a double top? Does it need to come back to the 8-day, or is it going to go here and just blast through and ignite the banks and help the market? I don't know. I don't know. I'm not really that active there. Earnings for banks usually are very, very, very noisy. Usually, if like a few days later it becomes a better trade. They survived what went on last year with the whole regional banks, and they absorbed some banks that couldn't handle it. So the big got bigger. Wasn't supposed to happen, but it did. Now we'll see. Listen, I know there's probably about 500 deals waiting to come public in the next year or two. So chances are everyone wants to do whatever they can to keep the markets up so they can get some of these deals out, because that's a lot of money for the brokerage firms. But anyway, so let's take a last look at crypto. A little pain in the butt yesterday. Bitcoin, not the end of the world, but again, we talk about levels. It got above 47, so anyone who thought it was going to go to 50,000 or 100,000, you had to get above and stay above 47, and it didn't. Got above it, failed. Same thing goes on for every different stock, equity, whatever. It's got to get above and stay above. And then I guess people that got caught wound up getting loose and wide, not even inside day. So I would say, this level, for it to rebuild, like it had to remember this loose and wide day. It rebuilt and went. Now it's got to hold this spot. Otherwise, it's getting a little loose and wide and choppy. They love stealing stock there. Anyway, so with all that said, the SPYs are down 3 cents. So we'll see if we get an inside type day. There's not a whole lot today. Tomorrow's a bit more important. Don't overtrade. Make sure to net money. Make sure to be prepared. Make sure to enjoy life. By the way, did you see that picture of what's it called? That's pretty damn crazy. Look at this. Look at these 3 guys. All right. Well, that's championship. Jack Harbaugh, John Harbaugh, Jim. You think that they have a mantra and a way of life? Did you read about the friggin' the running back? My goodness gracious, what he did, I showed Chase. Listen, show your kids these type of things, because our kids are getting spoiled, right? No one will outwork Michigan running back Blake Corum. His first 2 years of high school, you know what he did? And this was in our grandparents that friggin' climbed over mountains in 3 feet of snow. His last 2 years of high school, his daily routine. Oh, look at that, a 4:30 a.m. wake up. Yeah, for a high school kid or a college kid. 5 a.m. speed work, running, stability, and agility. 7 a.m. school to 3, so you're in school. Okay, lifting with the football team at 3, practice at 4, 6 p.m. post-practice session with a trainer to stretch and this and that. I showed this to Chase. I'm like, Chase, freaking, you know what? You got to keep working. You want to play D1 sports? Like anything. You want to be prepared for the stock market? Get up. Get your routine going. Stop making excuses. Look at yourself in the mirror. Have a great day, guys.